I don't know if you've noticed, but I reckon there's something in the air, or possibly in the ground, and it's exciting. After decades of floundering under a mound of mediocre mass-produced food, it feels like the tide is now really turning. Britain's definitely been bitten by the grow-your-own bug. More and more people are discovering the joys of getting good clean dirt under their fingernails and feasting on their own homegrown produce. Coming up, I'll be knocking up some tasty treats from food others might throw away and dishing them out for our special leftovers night.
That is spanking.
It's a great pudding. And I'll be working miracles with loaves. Do we really need all this rubbish in our daily bread? And fishes. He's not going anywhere. While John and Steve turn water into wine. Or more precisely, carrot peelings into beer.
Hubble bubble, toil and trouble.
Unbelievably good.
That's delicious.
Get out!
Yes! 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 Early June at River Cottage is a real thrill. From the kitchen garden to the polytunnel, we're fit to bursting with thrusting young vegetables. The harvest has begun, but there's still nurturing to do too. This is such an exciting time of year. I love just watching the seedlings coming through, and this is an almost perfect little row of carrots, which is really encouraging because they can be temperamental so-and-sos. Mind you, between now and the moment when they offer up their fabulous crunchy orange roots, they're going to have to run the gauntlet of a fair few trials and tribulations. When you've worked hard to bring your homegrown harvest to fruition, you'll savour every bite. The fruits of your own labour are just too good to waste. But the sad fact is, a third of all the food we buy in this country is thrown away. It's not only an insane waste, I think it's culinary madness too. As my wily head chef Tim knows very well, leftovers are one of a good cook's most valuable commodities. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Because when you're cooking at home, some of your favourite dishes are things you do with leftovers. And yet, once we get into a restaurant kitchen, leftovers are sort of like a dirty word. It's like, we all know leftovers get recycled very creatively by good chefs. But instead of boasting about it, they're trying to sneak it onto the menu without anyone noticing. Yeah, I'm making you nervous now.
I can see where this is going.
I think it's time to come clean about leftovers and celebrate them on our menus.
Oh dear.
You'd rather some of those leftover secrets stayed in the kitchen?
You know, you are doing, though, is one of my classic things that I hate. You're showing everyone how the tricks are done.
I think we should come clean on behalf of the industry, Tim. And when you show up at the pub with the other local chefs, yes. Well, you may not be able to do that anymore. I'm hoping to recruit the sceptical Tim for a special mission. Leftovers night here at the canteen. It'll be the perfect antidote to economic doom and gloom and a chance to show off our favourite thrifty recipes. To get Tim in the mood, a dessert challenge. What about bread and butter pudding?
Yeah.
You a big fan?
Yeah, big fan.
I struggle with my bread and butter pudding, and I'll tell you the problem I have is it's the fiddliness of the little triangles of bread butter. So I've got a way round that, which is to blitz the bread and go for a breadcrumb and butter pudding or an eggy bread pudding. Stale bread is whizzed up into breadcrumbs. I need 200 grams. For a simple custard, I'm whisking 3 whole eggs and 3 extra egg yolks with 100 grams of sugar. Then scalding 400 mils of milk and 200 of cream and whisking that in. 3/4 of the breadcrumbs are folded in and left to plump up in the custard for half an hour. How much easier is that than buttering all those little triangles of bread for your bread and butter pudding?
It's certainly easier, isn't it?
But is it going to be tastier? You have your doubts. you were already thinking this is not going to be as good as the bread and butter pudding.
I believe the proof will be in the pudding.
I think. As the breadcrumbs swell in the custard, I'm gently frying the remaining 1/4 of them in butter with a little added caster sugar. The crummy custard goes into a well-buttered oven dish, and the buttery, crispy crumbs will make a lovely crunchy topping. Bake for about 30 minutes, but don't overdo it. There should always be a bit of wobble in the middle. I know I'm not exactly making history by turning stale bread into a pudding, but you've got something a bit more radical for your pud.
I have, indeed. It's one of my favourite cake recipes, using up old leftover mashed potato.
No.
Yeah.
Which kind of cake?
Well, it's a lemon drizzle cake.
So lemon drizzle cake with mash instead of flour?
You got it, yeah.
Tim's creaming 200 grams of unsalted butter with the same amount of caster sugar in the mixer till it's pale and fluffy. What in God's name are you doing?
Well, my butter was a little bit cold from the fridge, so I was just warming it up.
That'll do it. Add 4 beaten eggs to the mix and the zest from 4 lemons and 2 oranges. Then it's time for the key ingredient, 250 grams of last night's leftover mash. So you really are putting mashed potato in your pudding?
I really am putting mashed potato in.
You weren't just saying that. 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 200 grams of ground almonds, and you're well on the way to a delicious and gluten-free pud.
Right, OK. Cakey mixture. So I'm just going to batter in the oven.
For 25 minutes. Time enough for Tim to knock up a quick lemon drizzle. 100 grams of caster sugar dissolved in the juice of 2 lemons. Duly drizzled over the lightly spiked cakes. They look pretty tasty, but how will they square up to my eggy bready pud? And will either recipe fit the bill for leftovers night?
Oh, man. That is spanking. I think that's every bit as good as bread and butter pudding, and a lot less painstaking.
Yeah, it's so easy to knock up, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Very, very user-friendly. It wouldn't work quite so well without the crunchy top, would it?
No.
Because it would be too gooey and puddingy, but that puts a bit of structure and excitement back in.
Brings the texture back.
Bring on the mash.
Indeed. Oh, nice steaming action.
It looks beautiful. I mean, look at the texture there.
Lighter than a cake made with flour.
Yeah, it really is. Wow. It's a great pudding. Has it really got mash in it?
Yeah, it really has.
Mashed potato.
Absolutely, mashed potato. It's better than yours, isn't it?
I don't see this as a competition.
Oh, don't you?
I'll concede that it's more elegant. It's got fantastically interesting flavours going on. I think it's classier than mine. I think mine's the homey one.
Yeah, all right.
Mine's the homey one.
Okay.
Yours is the classy chefy one.
All right.
2 fine puddings. I think we put them both on the menu for leftovers night.
Brilliant.
I love fishing, but some fish just seem to be out to taunt me. And one of the most tantalising is the elusive and delicious grey mullet. Morning, John.
John, Hugh, you all right?
You'll see it now and again on the fishmonger's slab, and usually very reasonably priced.
Nice to see you.
It's one of those fish that drive anglers nuts, isn't it? You see them in the harbour, swimming around, nibbling bits of bread. You think, God, they must be easy to catch.
Yeah.
And you get your rod and line out, and you can spend all day, and they just take the mickey.
We better get our book of excuses just in case, because they are so, like you say, devilishly crafty fish.
Grey mullet love hanging out off rocky shores and in tidal harbours. We'll be fishing from John's boat, without even leaving the mooring. Mashed up stale fish and stale bread, another canny leftovers recipe, should bring the fish to us. These stones are going to help the ground bait to sink.
Yep, they'll send it right to the bottom and keep it there.
The anticipation is building, and I'm dying to get fishing with my lucky rod. You want that to sink before the gulls get it, really, don't you? Yeah. But it turns out John's got a whole different bit of kit in mind.
Yep. We're going to try cast netting.
We're going to try and net them.
Try and net them.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. There's quite a trick.
I see. So basically, you're casting it out, and it lands in a big circle.
Yes.
And then closes down underneath.
Yep. And the fish sits in these pockets here, so they don't fall out the bottom.
As the rain comes down, John gives me a quick demo. Oh, perfect. Nice one. This looks easy. Okay, here we go. I need some sort of a follow through.
Well, you need something.
I'll go and have a coffee and see you in about 2 hours then, Hugh, all right?
Thanks very much, John. So far, I reckon the resident grey mullet of Axmouth Harbour have never been safer. I've never been on a fishing boat and felt further from the possibility of actually catching a fish.
No, you're doing fine. It's just, like you say, you just got to perfect it
I'm
a
not
bit
doing
better.
fine. I'm doing rubbish.
It's going in the water.
Well, that's a start, isn't it? Give me a tip, John.
Practice makes perfect.
That's not a tip, that's a cliche.
It's like riding a bike.
Yes! 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 See? I told you it was easy. Oh, I got myself in the middle of the
Got something.
Now, with 2 seasoned cast net fishermen on the job,
Going for distance as well now, I'm impressed.
it takes no time to get our first catch. You're not what we're after, but at least you've proved it works. To avoid writing a new chapter in the book of fishing excuses, we decide to try elsewhere in the harbour. The sun's finally peeped out, but the tide's coming up and our hopes are fading fast. You've got one?
Yeah,
You sure?
feel it kicking.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow, and it's an absolute beauty as well.
Yeah.
You are brilliant. You are. And look how well that net works, because that is the little pocket, isn't it?
That's it.
And he's absolutely in there, exactly as it's designed to do.
Yep.
Oh. He's not going anywhere. I'm holding on to it. I'm thinking, if we take a nice fillet off either side, I could do 2 different dishes.
That sounds
Are
good.
you up for trying something a bit unusual?
Yep.
You may regret saying that. What a lovely fillet. Just caught fish is delicious raw, and I'm going to make a fishy carpaccio. Grey mullet is ideal for this, as it's such a meaty fish. You could also use bass or bream, but any fish served raw must be incredibly fresh. Trickle the juice of half a lemon and a little good olive oil over the finely sliced fillets. Chopped capers add a bit of bite, while some fennel fronds give a hint of licorice to the fish dish. My fennel's blowing away, John.
It's lovely summer weather.
I just leave it for a few minutes for those flavours to mingle a bit, so we can get the other fillet on the barbie. These bay leaves will burn underneath the skin, and the flavour of them should just smoulder through lightly into the flesh. Season with a little salt, a twist of pepper, and a smidgen of roughly chopped thyme. Little trick to turn our barbie into an oven, especially on a windy day like this. Pop a frying pan on top. While one fillet smoulders on the barbie, the other, raw, is ready to roll. So fresh, isn't it?
Yeah. Very nice. Proper stuff.
Is that the sort of thing you'd have a go at, do you think, now?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was a rare treat. Now for a cooked one. Wow. How about that, John?
That looks brilliant. Smells even better.
Look at the way it flakes and that beautiful white colour. What do you think?
Bloody lovely.
I do think that the harder you work for a fish, the better it tastes, don't you?
I certainly do. And some of us have been working harder than others.
The thrust of our Landshare website is simple: to help anyone who wants to grow their own food find some land to do it on. I'm not saying growing veg can solve all the world's problems, but I really do believe that planting and nurturing delicious food is not only good for body and soul, it really can change lives. And I recently got to hear about 2 green-fingered grannies from Lee in Lancashire who take much the same view. Doreen and Marg are an upbeat duo who've persuaded the local council to hand over a plot of derelict land to turn into a veg patch to be run for and by the local kids.
Going to keep the kids off the street playing in
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It could
And
create
getting
an
into
interest.
trouble.
They're into it now. They're stopping us in the street. When's it starting? When's it starting? They're knocking on our doors, aren't they? Can we come now? You know, it's they're geared up for it.
When it comes to growing your own, Marg's a natural. In just a year, she's created an edible oasis on wasteland beside her house.
I love it. I love gardening. And I love it when it rains. And it feeds them.
After months of toing and froing, the council finally came good and began to break ground on Marg and Doreen's ambitious project, an edible playground for young kids.
All this part here, we're going to have raised beds, which you will fill with soil. Think it'll be good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That'd be awesome.
That'll be awesome.
I think it's brilliant because there's nothing for that younger generation. So it could keep them all active and everything, give them something to do, keep them out of trouble.
It's just time we have something around this area that the kids can really get stuck into, because they all love playing in the dirt.
You have to get the seeds, then dig a hole in the mud, then you put them in, and then you put the mud back over the seeds. And then they start to grow as the rain comes and the sun comes.
Hello there.
Hello.
You must be Marg and you must be Doreen. How are you?
Pleased to meet you.
It's just a few weeks since the diggers went in, and Marg and Doreen have invited me up to see how it's all going. My God! This is incredible. It's perfect, because there's plenty of room for them to move around the beds.
Yeah.
You know, if you had soil everywhere, they'd be running around and having fun, but, you know, they would be squashing the plants and stuff like that. You're going to just be able to grow the best veg and the best fruit, too. As my contribution to the celebration, I've promised to knock up some luscious fruit lollies packed full of garden goodies. So we've got rhubarb, and do you want to get onto the black currants there, Doreen? We're adding a dash of water and a bit of sugar to the black currants, then heating gently till the berries pop and the juices run. The puree is then strained through a sieve.
Will you get your finger out?
And mixed with plenty of yoghurt. I mean, if we end up with about half as much blackcurrant as yoghurt, we'll probably be about right. Have a little taste and see what you think.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be using these handy lolly moulds. That's delicious.
Get out.
Sorry, couldn't resist. And I have a feeling these lolly sticks could come in useful later on. Meanwhile, this lovely Lancashire rhubarb is cooked with orange juice and sweetened with a little honey. Simmer until tender. That's looking great. Then whiz in the blender.
Oh, it's better than my blackcurrant.
A few hours in the freezer, and they should all be lollified. Right, lollies all in, Mark. Back at the new veg plot, loads of local kids have turned up to see what all the fuss is about. So, can we make young gardeners out of them by the end of the afternoon?
Tell what they are.
Strawberries. Good, this is strawberry.
Whee, that's a rhubarb.
Wow.
Now to try and inspire them with our frozen assets. There we go, and it's a blackcurrant. And if I can't get a kid to lick a lolly, I may as well quit now. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hello, how are you doing? Oh, go for it. To honour the occasion, I reckon we should make the first bed a lolly garden, planting up blackcurrants and rhubarb, as well as strawberries and raspberries.
Would you like to grow your own lollies? With this, yeah? Good lad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mackenzie has just planted the first plant in this garden.
I never thought being a police officer that I'd be here digging in a garden of little ornaments.
Yeah, push it down. Go on, lad.
It's something that we can do together as families, as a community.
They're enjoying it, yeah, they are. They're getting stuck in, aren't they? Literally.
They're fighting over trowels.
We can only hope that this is going to inspire them. More than we could have hoped for, really, this, isn't it?
It's great to see a bunch of kids getting muddy and excited about planting fruit bushes. Do you want to write blackcurrant on that? I definitely detect some little green fingers amongst this lot. And with ever-present helping hands from Marg and Doreen, I'm sure there'll be homegrown lollies from this bunch within weeks. Thank you both very much for having me up here.
You're welcome.
Can I pop back and see how you're getting on sometime?
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Thanks very much.
So a piece of ground that a few weeks ago looked like this, now looks like that. But much more importantly, I'm absolutely certain that it's going to make a real difference to the lives of dozens of kids. You can't ask for more than that. It's fantastic. More than ever, it's vital that we don't waste good food. And I don't want the creative use of leftovers to be the chef's guilty secret. On the contrary, I want to celebrate them at our leftovers night. I've never had any sort of problem with that sort of behaviour with the roast potato. Cold from the fridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somehow, I don't think we can just put that on a plate and tell people it's a dish. What else have we got? Oh, nice bit of cold fish.
Yeah.
Is that a roasted mullet?
That is a roasted mullet. I had a couple left, and I thought rather than let them sit in the fridge, you know, getting older, I'll cook them and then we'll cook them up, make some fish cakes or something.
I think we've got some leftovers to be proud of, and I don't see why we shouldn't come clean about it on our menu. If you said to the staff today that you were cooking up some roasties again and a few slices of leftover pork, they'd all be rubbing their hands together, wouldn't
Yes, but the customers don't work here, do they? I mean, my
well,
problem
the customers
is...
don't know how good your leftovers are. Now's your chance to show them.
They do know how good my leftovers are, it's just they don't realise it, and I'm quite happy to keep that the way that it is. If you think it's a great idea, then I'll go with you on it.
I'm just feeling my way, Tim. I've got no idea whether it's a great idea. Let's wait till the day after leftovers night, and then I'll tell you whether it was a great idea or not.
Well, when you drop off my P45 in the morning.
Yeah, sorry, Tim. We're out of business. Well, we'll never know until we try, and I can't wait to get started. Kicking off with that lovely leftover grey mullet from Tim's fridge. I realise not everyone's going to get excited about a small pile of cold leftover fish, but I beg to differ. And I'm going to use the chilli mullet to road test a possible starter for leftovers night. Firstly, I'm boiling up some puy lentils with a bay leaf, half a red onion and a couple of cloves of garlic. Now I'm going to put together a really kicking dressing to make this whole dish come alive. And here's a good dollop of mustard to start with. Add a dash of cider vinegar and trickle in half rapeseed oil, half olive oil. Then finely chop some anchovies, capers, and add them to the mix. A pinch of sugar and a twist of pepper, then give it a shake. This is just a simple vinaigrette with a few extra goodies in it. As the French say, je ne vinaigrette rien. After about 15 minutes, the lentils should be cooked to perfection. I like my lentils still just a tiny bit nutty, and these are done. The next bit's easy. Just mix it all together. You can use just about any cooked fish for this dish, but firm, meaty mullet holds the dressing really well. Finish with some fresh parsley leaves and finely sliced red onions. It's lovely, especially when you think what a humble set of ingredients we started with. On this basis, next time someone calls you a cold fish, you could take it as a compliment. The older I get, the more I hate waste. It makes me feel guilty and gets under my skin. But the reverse is also true. Recycling and being efficient with energy can be hugely satisfying. 6 months ago, we put up a wind turbine at River Cottage. I'm hoping it'll meet over half our energy needs at the farm. Heave! 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 Steve! Heave, Steve!
Kat, are you just hanging on?
Heave!
Here we go.
Right! 3 cheers for the wind! Yay! Well, blow me, it really works. We've also built a wormery. It speeds up composting and produces a nutritious liquid feed. For plants, that is. It sounds quite tempting to give it a sip.
I dare you.
Yeah, go on.
But guess what? I'm not going to. But there's another product that comes out of my kitchen that I'm determined to put to better use.
Should keep you going for a while.
Until recently, our used cooking oil was driven nearly 200 miles to Liverpool, where it was converted into biodiesel. It seemed to me that any benefit to the environment was compromised by how far it had to travel. But now I've discovered somewhere closer to home that can do the job of converting leftover food into miles. The scheme's run by students in a porter cabin at the local school. Dawn Coghlan is one of them.
We need to whack on the wellies.
So where's most of this stuff coming from that you're processing?
This batch is from the local pub.
So deep fat fryers all around Axminster are starting to come here?
Can be household, can be commercial, anything really.
So what has to happen to turn my grubby deep fat fryer fat into lovely clean biodiesel?
It needs to go in here.
The Axminster Community College refinery was set up with a £3,000 grant, but the filtration system was donated for free. This looks to me remarkably like a pair of trousers.
It is a pair of trousers.
Is it?
It's a pair of jeans from one of the science teachers.
Does it do a good job?
It's really, really good, and it's obviously filtering really well. We need something that essentially just takes out the bits of dead chip and
So whose jeans are these?
They're Mr. Colville's.
They're Mr. Colville's jeans, are they?
Yeah.
Right. Here comes the really revolting stuff from the bottom. Oh. Do you all get a bit of that?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to put the rest in. There it goes. What's going to happen to it now?
It's going to be treated, there's going to be a catalyst added, then we're going to mix it, it's going to turn into the biodiesel.
Right. Modern diesel engines need very clean fuel to work efficiently. Mr. Colville's size 38s are just the start of the process. Dawn's testing the pH level so she can work out how much methanol to add to clean the oil. So how much of this do we need, Dawn?
985 grams.
It's 230. Now I know what I'm doing. It's like baking a cake from here on in. A catalyst is added to the methanol, and together they kick-start the process that transforms my filtered cooking oil into clean, free-running, environmentally friendly biodiesel. How long is the whole thing going to take?
Take about six hours, so usually we'll leave this running overnight.
The Axe Valley Community College refinery can produce 500 litres of fuel a week, easily enough to run 10 cars. It's a completely different colour. That's the dirty stuff.
Yeah, this is the dirty stuff here.
And this is after treatment?
This is after treatment. It's a lot easier to burn, a lot thinner. Essentially, it's a lot cleaner.
And you've taken the fish and chips out?
The fish and chips are definitely out.
This will be the first time I've filled up my newly converted Landy with refined chip oil, and I can't wait to be running on the byproduct of Britain's favourite dish. I think you'd better turn it off, Dawn. That'll do it. So how much do I owe you for that? 20-litre can, all gone.
Well, it's 50p a litre, so I make that £10.
A tenner it is, then.
Thank you.
Just promise me one thing. When I turn the key there, she is going to go, isn't she?
Yeah.
You sure about
Definitely.
that? Yes! And how exciting it is to be driving home on recycled chip oil. John the forager and his accomplice Steve are back in town, charged with the vital task of providing the booze for leftovers night.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, Steve. Hi, John.
Got some leftovers for us, I think.
Yeah, I've got that.
These wily moonshiners have pledged to use scraps from the kitchen as a main ingredient for their brew.
There we go.
Oh, right, let's have a look. It could have been worse, I suppose.
Well, it's just carrots, John.
It's carrots, yeah. Well, I reckon we can do it.
I knew you
We
would.
need to go on a journey.
Do we? Where are we going?
Little wood up the road.
To turn these carrot peelings into a believable brew, these two are going to have to find a more promising ingredient to go with them.
Trees. I can see that.
Yeah, but not any tree. These are spruce trees, and these are just what we want.
OK. Mind how you go, John.
It's just these young tips we need.
Maybe we should open it up.
Oh, that's horrible, but it should be great in a beer.
I think it's going to be awful.
Oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Why are we using these?
Well, this is spruce, and it is a traditional additive to beer, and we use hops nowadays.
Yeah.
But once upon a time, spruce was used, and it still is in parts of the world.
Does that mean we're going to make Christmas ale?
No, no. I think we'd have drunk it by then.
OK.
This is all we need. We're just using this as a flavouring. I'll tell you what, it's going to be terribly healthy because this has got a lot of vitamin C in it. I think Captain Cook used it on his voyages to stop scurvy.
Oh, right.
But if carrots have got vitamin A, this is going to be the healthiest beer that's ever been made.
Blimey.
I want 60 bottles of beer, and if John and Steve don't deliver, then leftovers night might be a dismal teetotal affair.
Right, it's our spruce.
Yeah. They do look
It's
great, don't they?
Yeah, it's an amazing smell.
Wow, I didn't get that when we were picking them. Almost citrus.
Oranges in the DIY store, I think. Okay,
these in here?
They can go in first because they're going to need a little bit of cooking.
And how long do we leave that in there for?
I think 15 minutes will do it. That'll get the flavour out anyway.
That's changing colour slightly, isn't it?
Isn't it?
The spruce sprigs are boiled to give up their goodness and highly aromatic flavour, and in goes a jar of molasses.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's quite hypnotic, isn't it?
Actually, this is another leftover ingredient because this is a byproduct of sugar making.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And as it's the sugar that turns to alcohol, another 6 kilos goes in.
Oh, hubble bubble, toil and trouble. That's really going nicely.
That's nice.
Finally, chuck in as many carrot peelings as you dare and bring back to the boil.
Oh, that's heavy. Yeah.
That's a lovely colour.
How does it taste? Oh, blimey, that's sweet.
It's very sweet. That's about all you can get.
Cool to blood temperature, add brewer's yeast and leave to ferment for 7 to 10 days. This should be a stout-like brew with a heavy hint of spruce, but will it leave us pining for more? So what's the most important food in the world? The greatest recipe ever invented? Surely it has to be bread. Its beauty, of course, is its simplicity. Or at least it used to be. What's been happening to it for the last 50 years or so, it's really pretty scary. Let's have a look at what's in this typical loaf of sliced white. Flour, water, yeast, sounds like bread, salt, just a pinch I hope, calcium propionate, hydrogenated vegetable oil, emulsifiers E481, E472A, E471, E920, whatever that is. Flavour enhancer, that's the saddest of the lot. Bread should taste of its own lovely, wholesome flour, and if you can't deliver that in a loaf, what's the point? Do we really need all this rubbish in our daily bread? Surely we can do better. You know what I think about growing veg, but I reckon learning to make your own bread can also be life-changing. Local mum Sarah Bilson has agreed to be a guinea pig in our experiment to test the transformative power of the home-baked loaf. Right, ready to go to work?
Yeah, let's do it. Don't know what I've let myself in for, but I'm very excited.
Sarah's a nursery supervisor with a 2-year-old of her own.
Before I had Daisy, cooking wasn't at the top of my list. A jar of sauce, bunged on some pasta, mix it up and that'll do.
Lydia, can you come out now?
You know, knowing her family, they do make odd comments about her lack of culinary skills.
Sarah wants Daisy to eat good, healthy bread, but she's never baked a loaf in her life.
I want to feed her good food, you know, healthy foods. And if I can give her the best from things that I've made, that's much better than buying things that aren't necessarily that good for her.
Dan is our resident baker, and he's risen to the challenge of showing Sarah what dough can do for her.
And you?
Sarah wants to learn to bake bread.
Great.
Whether she'll still feel like that at the end of a morning with you, Dan, I don't know.
Well, I hope so.
I'll be back in a few hours. It'd be nice if there was something for me to eat. Have a good time.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
A kilogram of flour is a really good batch size for bread at home.
Okay. Ooh, it's gone a bit over.
That's dried
Add
yeast.
10 grams of dried yeast.
How much was that?
Whoops.
Okay.
A good pinch of salt and 650 ml of water. And that's all you need for a simple loaf.
Sarah, I'm giving you the dubious honour of being the only person, apart from me, to use my bread mixing bowl.
It's really dirty. Do you not clean it?
Sarah, there is a bit of every loaf I've ever made in there. It's precious. Don't break it.
Just bring the mix together.
It feels like Play-Doh. Oh, I'm getting a right old mess.
Push it all away.
And then knead. And this is the bit that's meant to be therapeutic.
Very fun. The kids would love it. And it's super sticky.
10 minutes steadily working the dough, and it should end up smooth, elastic, and ready for its first rise.
Exactly like that.
The yeast feeds on the flour, releasing gas as it does so. The gas is trapped in the dough and makes it rise. An hour or two should do it.
Oh, we're looking for just about double in size, I think. What do you reckon?
It's certainly a lot bigger.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then knock back the dough and shape it to rise a second time.
And the tighter ball we can shape now, the more evenly risen our dough is going to be, okay?
Okay.
Another hour or two, and you should have a well-risen loaf.
How are we going to get it out?
Very, very gently.
Okay.
And do it nice and slowly.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
Slashing the top allows the bread to expand in the oven without tearing.
Now, a good dousing of water.
Okay.
So that helps a really good crust.
It's baked in a preheated hot oven at 250 degrees.
Whip it away, a little bit like the dinner cloth party trick.
Yeah. Okay.
Brilliant.
40 minutes later, Sarah's first ever loaf is done.
Thank you.
Best smell in the world, Dad. And are you as excited about that smell as I am?
Yeah. That's mine.
What a beauty. Well risen. Nice and light. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Fantastic.
What do you want to do with that?
Eat it.
All yours, Sarah. Mmm. Mm-mm.
It's delicious. Really nice.
Unbelievably good.
So, job done. Not quite. Sarah's got to take her newfound knowledge home with her and see if she can make a daily loaf part of her daily life.
I have done a few experiments of making bread at home. The bread that I've made isn't actually edible. I did one loaf. It was slightly heavy. Made a good doorstop though. But then when I made another loaf, I put way too much salt in and actually made my dad sick.
But Sarah's no quitter, and today she's decided to bake bread for her whole class.
That doesn't look right, I know that. Too crumbly. I'm going to do good loaves, I am. If it takes me another 6 months, I don't care, I'm going to do it. Please do your thing. Oh, this is more mess than my bread. This is where it could all go completely wrong. You only really know how it's going to be when it comes out of the oven and you taste it.
Flour, water, yeast, a pinch of salt and a little practice. That's all you need to make great bread.
Okay guys, it's tidy up time! Wow. It's huge. They've exploded a bit, haven't they? But at least there'll be plenty to go around.
And now Sarah's loaf will be judged by some of the most discerning critics in the county.
Do you like Sarah's bread? Thank you. Is it nice?
It's really nice. I really like it. It's lovely and warm and doughy. It's just perfect.
I've got this more.
It was very good. It was light and it was fluffy and it had a good crunchy top. It was delicious.
Keep buttering, Claire. Oh, it's my best loaf, for sure. Certainly better than the salt disaster that we had the other day. This one's edible. Hooray!
It's the afternoon of leftovers night. And in the canteen kitchen, Tim and I are busy transforming the weekend's most succulent scraps into fodder fit for a king.
I quite like the concept. I like the idea, but I'm not quite sure we should be quite so honest about it. Because essentially you're saying, come and have some second-hand food. You know, you go to your mum's house for leftovers, don't you? You don't necessarily want to go out to dinner for them.
But never one to duck a challenge, Tim's hoping to transform Sunday's roasties into roast potato gnocchi.
I've never tried it before. We're hoping it's going to work. So, just mincing up my roast potatoes.
Gnocchi are usually made from fluffy, just boiled spuds. But I'm excited about the roasty approach because I reckon it'll add a whole new depth of flavour. Add some finely chopped sage and thyme and a little pasta flour.
I mean, the more flour you put in, the less likely they are to fall apart. But the more flour you put in, the more likely they are to taste the flour and not potato. And you really want your potato gnocchi to taste the potato, not a flour.
3 eggs go into the mix, and a little grated hard goat's cheese.
How are you getting on with your gnocchi, Tim?
Gnocchi bad, yeah, gnocchi bad. I think the flavour's going to be great. I'm a bit concerned about the oil and the fat inside the roast potatoes. That's going to mess with the
chemistry.
The molecular happenings inside my gnocchi and make them fall apart.
I think I'm going to leave Tim to fret about his molecular happenings and sort out a lovely ragu to go with his gnocchi.
This tomato sauce has been gently bubbling away for a couple of hours now. There's a load of garlic in there, herbs, sage, rosemary and thyme.
Into this luscious tomato sauce will go all the leftover roasts from Sunday. Pork, beef, I've even got a few sausages. And it all gets minced.
If there's anything left over from leftovers night, Tim, are you going to have leftovers night?
No.
You've already decided that, have you?
Well, if I do, I certainly won't be advertising it.
The last of the minced meat goes into my ragu to accompany Tim's dainty roasty gnocchi. But there's still one vital thing missing.
The great unknown of the evening, Tim, is this beer that John and Steve have brewed.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's either going to be the revelation of the century or it's going to be sheer filth.
So what happens if it's really awful, then?
If it's rank, I'm not even going to offer it up.
The droopy brewers are cutting it pretty fine, but at least they're here with tonight's beer made from carrots and Christmas trees.
Oh, it's got a pop on it.
That's good.
My God. Is it meant to be that colour?
Looks like someone's drunk it already.
Cheeky.
You know, it's better than I thought it was going to be. It has got a sort of conifery thing going on, which some people might like more than others. You know, I think it's genuinely interesting.
I don't think there's anything here to be ashamed of. I think we can offer this with pride.
We are giving it away.
We can offer it with enthusiasm.
It's showtime, and John's beer soon gets tongues wagging.
I thought the beer was, very lively, very fruity. I'm not sure how strong it was.
I think if I had too much of it, I might not. I might really enjoy the evening, but not remember why I enjoyed the evening.
It is quite grassy, but it is quite like a fermented compost.
Back in the kitchen, I have one last leftover treat to prepare, using cold lamb.
Bizarre as it may sound, this dish is really a sort of deconstructed, summery salad version of a Scotch broth. I've got here pearled spelt, which is just like pearled barley. I've got the lovely shredded leftover cold shoulder of lamb and some blanched spring greens. And they're all going to be tossed up together with a wonderful dressing.
Hot or cold, full-flavoured lamb bleats for its favourite fresh summer herb.
I'm going to dress my cold, shredded lamb shoulder with tons of this lovely fresh mint to really give it a lift and make it sing of the summer.
Mustard, apple balsamic, sugar, garlic, olive and rapeseed oil make the sweet and tangy dressing.
Wow, that's a hell of a dressing. It's sweet, sharp, mustardy. It's got plenty of garlic, but that's good because the lamb is quite rich and oily, and that's really going to cut it nicely.
And now the meat, pulses, herbs and dressing can all get to know each other a little better.
Just to take the Scotch broth idea to its logical conclusion, I've got the last of the spring greens, lightly blanched, refreshed in cold water, completely juicy, succulent and sweet. And along with the mint, these greens really give it some life.
Service, please. OK, we've got starters ready to go to table 1.
And now the leftovers are leaving the kitchen, ideally for the last time.
Dig in. Yeah.
First out, the grey mullet and lentil salad.
Wow. Yum.
You need to start working 7 lamb in total, please. Servant, please. Next up, I need 4 gnocchi, please.
3 lamb, 3 gnocchi. Service, please.
Service, please. 2 gnocchi, 2 lamb.
My lamb salad's going down well, and Tim's dish is literally coming up a treat.
Next up, 4 gnocchi.
When gnocchi are done, they pop up to the top of the pan.
I think it's amazing, yes. This is leftovers. This is very, very good.
2 lamb.
The lamb was just superbly cooked. I think the cabbage in it as well. It was just great. It was really lovely.
The roast potato gnocchi
Would never have dreamt of something like that.
2 eggy bready, 2 lemon drizzle, table 12, please.
And finally, our competing but equally delicious puds.
I think it's proven the point that you can have a very nice, very tasty, nutritious meal from leftovers.
I should be a little more adventurous, I think, with my leftovers in the future. Turn them into a meal. It's a really fantastic idea.
I thought that went well.
I think it went splendidly well.
So, in fact, no one's a bigger convert to leftovers than you, Tim. So, will you be happy, Tim, if I put a big notice on the front door saying, Chef Tim Maddams serves excellent leftovers here?
Yes, absolutely.
How long before you'll rip it down?
Not long.
Just a couple of minutes.
Next time at River Cottage, Gil and I rustle up some treats made from gardener's enemy number 1.
This is slug satay.
Oh, man.
You can actually see the slugs.
John treats me to the freshest Chinese in the country.
This is better than anything you get at a takeaway.
Fellow chef Mark Hicks and I have the ultimate fish-off.
Is this about time or quality? Both, Mark, both.
And go to great lengths to prove that chefs aren't at all competitive.